We're back once again to Below the Rim podcast, getting to know the panel. My name is Jamal. I'm here with Drew, or also known as Andrew Hinkson. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive into these questions.
Okay, name is Andrew Hinkson. As you probably know by now, I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. I pretty much decided from a very young age that I wanted to be an actor. I can't even remember when that exact idea entered my brain waves or whatever, but it's pretty much all I can remember ever wanted to do in my life. I started pursuing my career when I turned about 19 or 20, and my sister, just kind of a random event, decided to go to Los Angeles to get the license to get the LA bar, the California bar, to be able to practice law there. And I kind of saw that as a sign, maybe this is my opportunity to just kind of jump into it. So I rode in a car with my sister for 48 hours and we drove to California. At that point, I signed up with a background agency, started doing extra work thinking that's how you break in. I realized quickly that that's not how you break in. You kind of need a theatrical agent in order to get the auditions where you get a chance to speak, which is what we all want to do, right? So eventually I upgraded to a theatrical agent, Bauman Hiller and Associates. They signed me to a 1-year trial contract kind of thing because I was an unknown guy from Toronto. After that 1 year, I decided since I'm not legal, I should probably go back to Canada, see if I can pursue the acting career there, which I didn't know if that was even possible or not. I managed to use a couple connections, got an agent in Toronto, and I guess you can say the rest is kind of history from there.
You already know it's 22 questions. I did switch around the questions a little bit, but you do have the power. It's in your hands. You're going to select one of the 22 questions and in any order that you want.
Nice.
And at the end of the questions, we're going to drop a little surprise thing for you and we'll get it popping and we'll start the ball rolling. So whenever you're ready, select your first question.
Okay. My first question, I'm going to go with my favorite number, the number I wore the most in any sport I played, number 11.
Number 11.
Number 11.
Here we go. Icebreaker. What are thoughts and where do they come from?
What are thoughts and where do they come from? Yeah, I guess like when you're in school, you kind of repeat the question to stall a little bit. I'm just getting warmed up. You know what I mean? I'm just getting warmed up here. So what are thoughts and where do they come from? You know what? I have a strong religious background, Jamal. Don't know if you know that about me or not. So a lot of things that I can't really explain scientifically or properly, I'll just kind of attribute to God. So I think that my thoughts originate maybe from my conscience, which I always attribute to a higher power. So I'm going to say my thoughts originate from my conscience, and I'll leave it at that for now.
Hey, there's no problem. I believe in the Most High as well.
Right.
All right, that was question 11. I hope you didn't think there's gonna be all sports related.
No, I definitely didn't. Not with you involved. Hell no.
Okay, so question number 2. Which one do you select?
I've always heard this number is righteous, and it kind of represents infinity. And I know the Asian culture looks at it as a powerful good luck number. I'm going to go with number 8.
Number 8.
Yes.
Do you think there's a difference between living and existing?
Oh, God, absolutely. If I could kind of just define what that means to me, it's not really probably the proper answer, but what it means to me is every time I get on the 401, anytime between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., and I see people sitting in their car, probably, don't want to say definitely, but probably on the way to a job that they don't really love, not really their passion. When I see someone doing something that they're forced to do, whether it's to pay a bill, whether it's to buy a car, something valuable that they want, when they're doing something that they do not love just for the money, I think that's just existing. Living is kind of doing what you're passionate. That's what I think the difference is.
No, I completely agree.
Right.
I was at a call center job and the money was fantastic, but the barter wasn't worth it. You know, like I'd put in the hours and then once the shift's over, I'm already thinking about the next day and my next shift. And like you can only formulate your activities, like your recreation activities, based on like how much time you have. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just existing right now.
So like part of the wheel, the hamster wheel almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And are you growing a mustache?
You know what? I let my beard grow. I know you know about this strike that's going on, right? This actor strike and writer strike. The only thing I've even read for in the past month is 3 video games. Ubisoft video games. I'm going for The Voice and a couple of those right now. I guess they might have liked what I did in one of the two of them because they called me back for a third shot. And I'm not going on camera right now. So I let the beard grow in. And then my girl kind of said she likes the goatee. So I just left that for now. We'll see how it goes, right?
Good luck. All the best with the video auditions.
Appreciate it.
Okay. That was question 2.
Yeah.
Question 3. Whenever you're ready.
I'm going to say number 3.
Question 3, number 3.
Hey, why not?
What's the best compliment you've ever received from someone?
Wow. You know what, man? I thought about this the other day. Because again, right, I'm a person that kind of, I go off like energy, kind of like feel in a lot of situations. If I've put myself somewhere where the average person might not put themselves, because I know with the career I've chosen, I kind of have to put myself out there, which isn't really my personality. So I remember this one day in particular, I was in LA for 1 year at the time, and I was doing background work, and I was working on Family Matters. If you remember with Urkel, the whole family
Laura
show
Winslow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm playing a guy just in a restaurant where Laura Winslow works. And during a break, we stepped outside, and I'm just kind of leaning up on one of the staircases outside of the studio, Warner Brothers lot. And some guy, random guy, walks out of a studio, doesn't know me from Adam, just sees me and kind of walks by, does a double take and comes back. And this is no lie. He looked at me and says, "Hey man, what's your name?" I said, "My name's Andrew." He goes, "You know what? You should stick at this. You got a great look about you, man. You should stick at this." And just walked away. Never just saw him again. Don't know who he is, but he has no idea how far that went. Because sometimes you just need that little bit of extra sign or message from someone. And I got it that day. I'm not saying I would have quit if I didn't hear that or not, because I'm not a quitter, but it did mean something to me to get that random compliment.
I truly believe in synchronicities, and that could have been an earth angel just keeping you on your path. Right. And I hope the energy is good in this 22 questions podcast right now.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so that was question 3. Now we're heading into question 4.
Number 4. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go with one of my favorite former Maple Leafs, and it's also the day I was born on May 13th, number 13. Matt Sundin also wore that number.
All right, here we go. If you could meet anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Anyone living or dead? This is a tough one, you know, because it kind of changes, I guess, as time goes by. Yeah. You know, but I think I may have strayed away from this guy over the years, but it definitely was someone that I thought about because it's one of the only novels I've read and loved. If you remember one of the older shows. Sorry about that. My crazy dog just kind of bumped my camera there. I would love to have a chance to sit down and just hear the thoughts, hear where his ideas come from and where his motivation comes from. And the man is Malcolm X. I can't think of anyone else that I'd rather have a little sit down with. I think
would you want to go for coffee or dinner?
Wow. You know what? I'll say coffee because I know he's a Muslim and I'm not sure if we would share the same type of palates. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
But
I'm going to just say coffee.
Right on. Okay.
Right.
That was question 4, and we're really diving in right now. All right, question number 5.
Yeah, okay. For question number 5, I'm going to go higher on the list, and I'm going to go with the blackjack number, 21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay. What role would you play in a group of people trying to survive a zombie apocalypse?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I've always prided myself on being someone that feels like they could survive almost anything, right? What I need to do is get my swimming levels a lot higher. And that's probably my one kind of like kryptonite if I was going to have to survive the end of the world apocalypse kind of thing. But I think I'll be the dude that keeps his head and is always just like focused on what we need to do. When there's a person that's panicking because they sprained their ankle, when there's someone that's freaking out because they got bit and they know they're going to turn in the next 24 hours or whatever it is. I think whatever the scenario that pops up, I'll be able to stay calm. I've been accused of being almost too stoic.
You're the grounded one.
Right. So I think I could keep my head no matter what the obstacle. I'd be that dude.
Okay. So that was question 5.
Nice.
Anyone watching the podcast right now, I'm sure you did not know a lot of these things about Drew. But question number 6.
You know, it's almost at the point where I'm going to start having to ask you which numbers I've chosen, right? I think I still know a few I didn't pick. Like, I know I didn't pick number 12 yet. Let's go with 12.
Number 12.
Yeah.
What 3 things can't you live without?
Oh, you know what? I could not live without sports.
Number 1.
I'll tell you that from now. I could not live without sport. The passion that I have for my beloved Toronto Maple Leafs, as you know, I definitely could not live without sports. The excitement I get, like days in advance from a big game, knowing like, okay, this team is like second in a division, we're third, and this game could actually be a potential playoff matchup. Like I get deep into it, man. So I know I could not live without sports. The second thing I could not live without is the thing that takes me out of the lowest points when I feel the lowest, when I need energy, if I'm going to the gym and I just need to get through an extra set. I know the energy that I get from music. Sometimes I wonder, like, what are people listening to get through the day? Because the energy that I get from certain hip hop songs, dating back to Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, like Lil Wayne, more recently, men like Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak Black. Like my music taste is a little different because I specifically hear songs and think about, could I murder a workout to this song? If I wake up and I need to like get motivated to get out there at 8 a.m, even though I barely slept, will this song get me going in the morning when I need to shave and shower and all that shit? I could not live without music. Number 3 that I could not live without, I'm gonna say my friends that are now like family, because I always pride myself on the fact that I have kept the same core group of friends since pretty much elementary school. Like my best friend to this day, we met like when I was in grade 5, if you can believe that, right? And still to this day, we are like brothers. So just knowing that there are people that you can actually truly trust. Like if I walk into this club right now and someone's coming up from behind that I don't see,
who has my back right now?
Who has my back? My girl might just spur the moment late night, 1 a.m. Oh, I'd like to get a drink. Can we go to that bar? I'm the dude that's like, no, we cannot go to this random bar in this random part of Toronto where no one has my back. We just cannot do it. Like I think of the bigger picture, and just to know that there are people that really have you and hold you down is a very valuable thing to me. So I can't live without my friends either.
Beautiful. That was well put, actually.
Appreciate it.
All right. So that was question 6. Now we're heading into question 7.
Nice. So why not pick number 7? Lucky 7. Let's see what's up.
7 and 7. Here we go. What is your spiciest opinion that most people disagree with?
Wow. Let me be careful with this one. Let me be careful with this one because this is YouTube. You know what I mean? Don't want to say anything that might get regurgitated later and used against me. Spiciest opinion. Let me see. I'll say like this. I have a strong opinion about the COVID vaccine, okay? Many people probably have heard the rumors about Jamie Foxx recently, how he fell ill to like kind of a mysterious kind of brain thing or nervous system thing. And later it kind of came out that it was attributed to maybe him having the COVID shots that he was forced to take for a film, right? Now, I was always under the feeling that I was too healthy of an individual to ever really be at risk of being someone that could die from COVID. I think that I was always someone that felt if I got it, it would be more risky for me to give it now to someone elderly or someone who has a health risk, right? So I believe that if I did not have to take the vaccine because of my career, like specific roles and auditions I was getting tell you don't even audition if you're not double vaxxed. You cannot come to set if you're not vaxxed. Like it basically was the determinant factor on me continuing my career or not. I could not work without the vaccines. So although I believe COVID is real because my mother actually had COVID and was hospitalized for it, but she also had health problems prior to that. So I think she was at risk of someone who should not have been exposed to it, right? But personally, if I did not have to take the vaccine for my career, I think I would have been willing to risk it and not put that foreign substance in my body without knowing the full testing and ramifications of it. So I'll say that's a little bit of a spicy opinion, and I'll just go with that.
I always say, I keep mentioning, always do your blood work, stay on top of things, know what you're lacking, know what you need, supplement if you have to, if you don't, but stay healthy. That's the number one thing. And that was question 7 with 3 more to go. Question number 8.
That's it? Just 3 more?
That was a part of it. So you're only gonna pick 10 out of the 22.
Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that. But you know what? That's sweet, man. That's sweet because now it's almost like I feel fortunate to pick the ones I pick because I feel like these are really good questions, man. I really appreciate that. So you said I have how many left now?
Number 2 more.
Two more. Okay, let me think which numbers I actually really like now. Which numbers actually mean something to me in my life. Or maybe just an athlete that wore that number. Steve Yzerman was always a big nemesis of the Maple Leafs growing up. Very hard to beat that Detroit Red Wings team when they had Yzerman and Fedorov, Larionov. That team was just incredible, man. And Steve Yzerman, great Canadian player, wore number 19. Let's go with that.
Number 19.
Yes, sir.
All right. You know what? I think you are meant to get these questions.
That's what I'm feeling now. I didn't know it was only 10. This is sick. I love this, man.
If you had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you say?
Wow. If I had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you say? I would say, as hard as it is to bite your tongue, never argue with someone. Because if someone has a strong enough opinion about anything that they're willing to argue back with you, think of how hard it would be to change your opinion on something you believe in, and how much time and energy you might be wasting arguing with any other grown-up human being. Stop the arguing, people. Let people have their opinion, even if it's not the same as yours. We can agree to disagree. That's why there's chocolate and vanilla, strawberry and whatever else you want to pick. Stop arguing, people. Let people have their opinion and just roll with it. That's my opinion on that. Yeah.
Funny enough, you ever get that question asked, if you can go back in time and give yourself any advice, what would you give yourself?
Right.
And I really thought about this, and I said to myself, I wouldn't listen to myself. When I was younger, I never listened to anybody.
Right.
So even if I went back in time, I would never listen to myself. So it does kind of bounce off of that whole thing about the opinion. Like, everyone has the freedom of their opinion.
So true.
But at the same time, like, we got to learn to, like, bite our tongue and just humble ourselves, because allow others to express themselves. That's how we become like a unified race. That's how we become like one.
And maybe actually learn from each other, right? People like wait for the other person to shut up just to argue back without listening.
They're building their rebuttal in their head.
You can literally see people just like waiting for you to shut up sometimes. And it's like, why am I talking? This is going to go nowhere. And it's not going to end when I finish. You know that. It's not going to end. They're going to say something. You're going to say something. Like, come on, man. Right?
All right.
Go smoke a spliff and chill out, people. Hey.
All right. So this is number 9.
Okay. Number 9. Have I picked number 18 yet?
No.
No? Okay. Let's go legal drinking age in Canada. 18 years old. Let's
18. What's one of your favorite songs right now?
Oh, you know what? I don't know if you've listened to the new Lil Uzi mixtape, the one he put out on the 4th of July. Something about America, whatever. First song on the album is called Flooded the Face. And like I've said, man, I personally pick songs that just have nonstop energy and just hype me up. Great to drive to, great to work out to, great to like do dishes to, whatever you got to do, you need some motivation. So I highly recommend number 1 on the Lil Uzi, Flooded the Face. Enjoy it.
All right, I'm going to take that in.
Yes.
All right, so this is it. Question number 10.
Wow. You know what? I've always prided myself on being a leader and someone that tries to rise to the top and be at the front of the pack. I will end this with number 1.
All right, number 1. You asked for it.
Yes, sir.
Are there any hard truths that you're afraid to admit to yourself?
Yes. I'll say this. There are times in my career where I feel like I have held back and not put full, I want to say, like openness into a role that I was preparing for. There's been a lot of times where I didn't know this about acting until I actually became an actor, right? Yeah. When I was inexperienced and just breaking into the business, I always thought that my face, my look, is going to be what gets me in there, right? That's going to be what propels my career, keeps me working, blah, 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 blah. I realized quickly in the game that if you are not willing to ugly yourself for the camera, fully let go and not give 2 flying Fs about what you look like, you can never fully get into the character you're preparing for. My sister has 3 daughters and a son, and she wanted to get her kids into acting. And the main thing is that she thought her kids were super cute and adorable. And I kept telling her, that's not what's going to get them work. If you think it's a beauty contest, you are highly mistaken. This business is not a beauty contest. It's for those who are willing to let themselves go, release any kind of hangups you have about yourself, and just fully give yourself to the art. Until I understood that, I wasn't truly an actor. So I'm still working on that, but I think I've gotten a little better over the year.
Okay, I agree 100% with that statement. When I do my YouTube videos, when I film, my problem was letting everything out. People would watch my content and be like, yo, you're so open. You just let everything, like, and then when I do certain interviews and stuff, they're like, oh, can you hold back this? Can you not do this?
Yeah.
Because I was born a certain way. I am what I am. What
Yeah.
I'm not is I'll never be. So, like that was my thing. I always have to turn myself down, especially now because things are getting censored. You can't say the wrong thing. But I was always the type to literally submerge myself in myself,
Yeah.
So I can attest with that. And I think that would make sense too, especially when you're acting. Okay. So that was the 10 questions.
Sick. Number
Now we're
one
gonna
was
head
deep, man. I like that one. Yeah.
I wanted to open up each person on the panel. So when people do watch this, they can be like, you know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Because people are more likely to listen to someone they can relate to.
True.
So I
Very
figured
true.
what's the best way, right? Okay, so this is the other part of the 22 questions. So I'm gonna throw a puzzle on the board. It's a little bit right-brained. You're gonna have to take a little bit of logic, a little bit of
Okay.
creativity.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna really tackle your cerebellum.
Sick.
I'm gonna put 1 minute and 30 seconds on the timer. Okay, I'll give you the first one just to give you an idea, and we'll start in 3, 2, 1. All right. So the number 2, if you look, that's broken heart. So the word
Number
heart.
2 broke. Okay, I see what you mean. Yes, yes.
All right. So the rest is up to you.
So you want me to do as many as I can?
As many as you can.
Okay. Start with number 1. Another one thing. First I'm thinking one thing or another, but that's probably wrong.
That's pretty close. One thing after another.
Right. Okay. I see that. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to jump to number 3. Let me see here. Maybe pay increase?
Close. Pay bump.
Pay bump. Okay. Gotcha. Number 4 here. Temperatures rising?
What about drop in temperature?
Drop in temperature. Okay. Right. See, I was putting the temperature above.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I
don't know. Does this mean I'm left brain because I'm left handed? I don't know where we're going. But all right. So where we at? Number 5. Huh.
Number 5's tricky.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything with that. That's weird.
What about last but not least?
Last but not. Okay. I like that. And I was like kind of getting to that area, and then I just went blank all of a sudden.
All right, so that's the timer. I just did this for fun, so everybody could have a chance to just just use all aspects of their brain.
Right.
And that was our 22 segment questions with Drew, and hopefully the panel and the fans now get to see another side of you. Is there anything you want to say before I let you go?
I just want to say I think this was a great idea because when we're doing the show, we kind of stick to the topics and we don't really get too personal about ourselves, right? Yeah. Someone might ask a question about each individual. We might get a little chance to tell a little story about ourselves, but I don't think the audiences really knew who we were or what we're about as individuals. So I think this was a pretty solid idea. I don't know where you came up with it. I know you're always just open and brainstorming. And I know maybe that CMOS has a different level, a different eye in your brain opened up or something. But you came up with something solid here. And I'm glad you went through with it. I'm sorry it took so long for me, man. But as you know, because of this strike, I've been forced into different lines of working all different hours. And it's just hard to even know what my schedule is going to be like lately, man. So I'm praying to God right now that all the stars align and we don't lose the whole summer because of this strike, man. I'd love to get back to work, and I'm looking forward to season 3 of Below the Rim podcast, man. I can't wait to see what's coming up.
Me too. And God always hears every prayer, and no prayers go unheard or unanswered. So it's just a matter of time. And there you have it. This is another segment of the 22 questions, getting to know the panel. I'm Jamal Johnson Hines.
And I'm Andrew Hinkson.
Stay safe, everyone.
Yes, sir.